Our next performer, and our last for the first act, is a magician who was once voted best magician in Toronto, even though he wasn't living in Toronto at the time. He was once told he was incredible by Dave Grohl. Please welcome to the stage, Keith Brown.
Thanks so much for that introduction, Paul. Hello, everyone. My name's Keith Brown. Just to let you know, I am recording my story today, so if that makes you uncomfortable, please talk to me while we get a beer during the break. Sound good? Well, my name is Keith Brown, and for the last 16 years, I've made a living on the road as a professional magician. Impressive, I know, because I barely look 16. Milk it, right? This is actually the first year on Fringe Tour that the reviews didn't mention my baby face. And not only being a magician growing up, I also wanted to be a hockey player, and I played hockey all of my life. And it's a tradition in my family to watch the World Juniors. And if you don't know what the World Juniors are, it's an international ice hockey tournament. It takes place in a different country every year, and it's guys 20 and under representing their country. And it's some of the most exciting hockey you're ever going to see, because most of them, they get drafted into the NHL. And it's tradition in my family to sit down over the holidays and watch some of these games. It starts on Boxing Day, and it goes into the New Year's. And one year we're watching, my dad notices there aren't many people in attendance. It's being held in Europe somewhere, and people just simply aren't going to the games. So he looks into it. And he finds out that the following year, the tournament is going to be held in the Czech Republic. He also finds it's cheaper to fly my entire family of 5 to Europe, to pay for all of our food, our accommodation, and tickets for all of us to go to every single playoff game than it is for one set of tickets when the tournament is held in North America. So when my dad asked me, do you want to go to the Czech Republic and watch the World Juniors? I said yes. I knew there was an opportunity waiting to be seized. So I am 16 years old. It's December 31st. Yeah, last week, I know. It's December 31st, 2007. It's New Year's Eve, and I'm in the Czech Republic with my family. And we're staying in Prague, but all the games are an hour train ride away in a smaller town called Pardubice. And we're wearing our Canadian jerseys. We walk into the arena, and that's when we realized we weren't the only ones with this idea. There were already 5,000 Canadians inside. White everywhere. I was halfway across the world, and yet I felt right at home. And that night we played Denmark, and we beat them 4-1. I really hope there's no one from Denmark here. And we beat them 4-1. We were undefeated going into the playoffs. We had a perfect round robin, and that night the arena exploded, and 5,000 happy Canadians streamed out of the arena, and they headed towards this train station. And they were drinking, they were laughing, and they were singing "O Canada." And this train finally rolls up. It's this very communist era style train, very bare and minimalist. And the very last car in the procession stops in front of my family. It's very important to know that this last car is also the bar car. And we pile on. The way it's set up is on the right there are seats for 2, 1 by 1 all the way down. On the left there are seats for 4, 2 by 2 all the way down. And at the very far end of the car is the bar service. Now the big tables, they'd already been taken up, so my family and I, we divide ourselves amongst the tables for 2. My parents sit down together, my 2 older brothers sit down together, and I'm left to sit by myself with my trusty pack of playing cards. And I have the intent to practice, but before I can even practice anything, a gentleman approaches me. His name is Bill. He's a lawyer from Saskatoon. He has long hair, and he's in his 50s. He's wearing his Canadian jersey, so of course I say yes. And we begin talking. We start talking about, where we're from, the amazing game we just watched, the fact that we are in the Czech Republic. And as we're talking, Bill's eyes notice the playing cards on the table. He sees me, this young kid. He knows that we're on the bar car. He says, "Hey Keith, how about a friendly wager? Do you want to cut to high card? Aces are high. Low man has to buy the drinks. What do you say?" At this point, Bill has no idea that I am a magician. So I see this as an excellent opportunity to have some fun. I look him right in the eyes. I try not to smile too much, and I say, "Sure." As long as I get to pick first. Naturally, he obliges. So I begin shuffling the playing cards, and as I'm shuffling a playing card, it spins out of the table, it slides across, and it lands in between his resting palms. And you can tell by the look in his face, he's trying to figure out what just happened. Was that an accident, some freak of nature, until a second card spins out, followed by a third card, followed by a fourth card, all making a nice, neat little pile in between his hands. At this point, his curiosity is bubbling. He needs to know. So he flips them over to find the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 aces. And after a very long, long pause, Bill finally musters up the courage to say, I guess I owe you a drink. I take the cards back, I give him a quick shuffle, I allow Bill some time to process what just happened to him. Now as this is happening, the line for the bar is getting longer and longer and longer. It's getting closer and closer to my table. And there's a young man, his name is Carl, he's 23 at the time. He's walking to join the end of that line. But before he can, he sees the playing cards on the table. He sees me, this young kid. He knows we're on the bar and says, hey kid, do you want to cut to high card? Aces are high. Low man has to buy the drinks. So 2 people within 5 minutes of each other have approached me, not knowing I'm a magician, and asked me to cut to high card. So I look over back at Bill, who doesn't say anything. Sure, as long as I get to cut first, naturally, he obliges. So I cut the cards, but I don't cut them just once, I cut them 4 times. And Carl's like, dude, what are you doing? You know you're only supposed to cut them once, right? And I'm like, Carl, but what if I have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 aces? And at this point, Carl loses it. Oh my God, get this kid a drink! Holy shit! Things of that nature. Now, the table across from me, that table of 4, they've seen everything. They know something is up, so they wave me over. They say, kid, you get over here. Show us what you can really do with that deck of cards. And I do. I perform for this family for the remaining 45 minutes of this train ride. And while this is happening, Bill, the lawyer, he's gotten up and he's found my father. And they start talking. And he asks my dad, do you know who your son's performing for right now? No idea. Another family here on vacation, enjoy the hockey? Bill says, no. You see that lady over there? That is Cindy Holland. Those are her 2 daughters, Julie and Rachel, her 2 sons, Brad and Greg. The only member of the family that isn't here right now is the father, Ken Holland. He's the general manager of the Detroit Red Wings. He's out scouting players right now. And all of this is unbeknownst to me. I just think that they're a family on the train. I see them as an opportunity to share with somebody else what I love most in this world. Hopefully put a smile on their face and brighten their day. And at the end of the train ride, we part our separate ways, and my dad fills me in on who these people actually are. So I make it my mission to hang out with them at least one more time during the tournament. And we do. We spend some more time on the train together, we have a drink together, we watch a game together. And we really make a connection, so we swap contact information, and we promise to keep in touch. But then the tournament ends, and we both go our separate ways. And even though we promise to keep in contact, I don't hear anything from the Hollands until about 8 months later, when I get a phone call from Cindy in August. She tells me that she's having a party in September, and she wants me to be her guest of honor for magic for her friends, her family, and her neighbors. And I say, of course, I would love to. But Cindy, is it okay if my parents can come? Because at the time I was 16 years old and I didn't have a driver's license. Of course, she said yes. Now, for those that don't know and that don't follow hockey, whoever wins the Stanley Cup, everybody gets it for 1 day. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody, all the players, all the staff, all the management. So over the course of the summer, the Stanley Cup will fly all around the world, just so they all get it for 1 day. Well, on this Tuesday in September, it was Ken Holland's day. He was having a party, seriously. So I got picked up on a Tuesday early from high school, and my parents drove me down to Michigan. And we're trying to figure out where this house actually is when we round the corner, and we knew we found the place because there it was, the Stanley Cup, on a table on his front lawn. Friends, neighbors, people were coming from all over to take photos with it. The guy with white gloves, he was there. And I got to take photos with the cup as well as with Cindy, and then I got to go around this party and perform for all their friends and their family. And I got to share something special with them, something I want to share with you now. I brought a deck of playing cards with me, and earlier today, I took out one of them, and I spun it around and I stuck it back in. So right now there are 51 cards face up, there's one card face down. I'm the only person who knows what it is, but as an audience, I will you to be successful. And what's your name?
Ranjan.
You had to think about that for a second, you sure? Now, we didn't pre-arrange anything, we've never met before, have we? I want you to name any suit, clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds.
Hearts.
Hearts, excellent. And there's someone playing with their hair right there. Could you name a value of a card? Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King.
3.
3. Now, I'm going to offer you an opportunity to change your mind. Because this is the what if moment. This is the moment, maybe when you're getting a beer, or maybe when you're going to bed later tonight, you're going to think back to this moment and you're going to ask yourself, but what if? What if I chose another card? The fuck? So for your benefit, because you might lose sleep over it, do you want to stay with the 3 or would you like to change?
I'd like to stay with
Do you want to stay with the 3? A lady that's committed. I like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I told you earlier that there's one card I place facing the wrong way. And it is a red card, and it is a heart, and it is that 3. Now, there's one part of the story I haven't told you yet. Because I told you when I took out that deck of playing cards with the intent to practice, there was one thing that I've been practicing for the last 6 months. There's one thing that I was going to practice whether or not Bill approached me. And that was how to cut to the 4 aces. And I've been making a living, like I mentioned, for the last 16 years on the road. And it's moments like this, the unexpected ones, the ones that you are wildly beyond your imagination. Those are the ones that are my favorite. So thank you so much for your time.
We are going to take a